welcome back to Clem ASMR. Welcome all. If you're new, please like and subscribe. If you're a returning viewer, hey, welcome back. Got a few things to go through this video. First of all, I filled up my McDonald's cup with Pepsi. And I just want to talk you through these. So Becky, my partner, came back from a trip with her friend and said, "Oh, look what I bought you. Some basically like high protein snacks. They're just like what do you call them? They're just like what do you call it? Jerky, like beef jerky. I've always wanted to like beef jerky, but I always find it really chewy, like rubber, and I hate it. And she brought me these back, and I was a bit like, oh, I'm not going to like it. And she spent a fortune on these. To be fair, they were on offer in Tesco, so she didn't spend all money. So she was like, "Do you want to try it?" And I was like, "Okay." I love them. It's the only beef jerky I've been able to like stomach because it just isn't chewy. So the first one we're going to show is the Korean barbecue steak strips. I think these are my favourite, the Korean barbecue ones. So it does look like normal beef jerky, except it's like, look at this. There's nothing chewy about it. Rump steak, marinated and lightly smoked over natural wood. The whole pack is only 97 calories, with 10 grams of protein, a gram of salt, 10 grams of saturates, of which 10.2 are carbohydrates. No, sorry. 1 gram of fat, of which 0.5 is saturate, 10.9 grams of carbohydrates, of which 10.2 is sugar, and 0.5 grams of fibre. But they're not like chewy at all. Well, they're a little bit chewy, like as jerky should be. I've had the comes in like a white packet. I can't remember what it's called. But I've had that before, and I just don't like it. These I do. Now that was the Korean barbecue one. I like it a lot. This is a Chipotle one, or as Becky likes to say, Chipotle. Probably my least favourite, and these are both steak, both rump steak. Okay, that one is a bit chewier. Probably just the way I bit into it, to be fair, because it's just falling to bits. That has more of a smoky sort of taste to it. I won't lie, I like them a lot. And they also do these buffalo chicken strips, and this is just chicken. These are 1.4 grams of fat, so very low in fat in comparison. 5 grams of carbohydrates, 3.5 grams of fat is sugar, 13.8 grams of protein. Let's get rid of that. And these come in like little chunkier pieces. You can see these. They've got more like a brown sort of tint to it. More like an orange tint rather than like a dark red brown. This is more like a yellowy brown. But these are so soft. And they'll have a much more chickeny flavour because it's chicken. Bit of a weird way to start this video, I know. But I just thought I'd let you guys know that if you're into like your beef jerkies, they're really good. I don't even know how much they are, to be fair. I think my missus paid £1 a pack, which I thought's not that bad at all. Says in Tesco they're £2.20. Well, it's £2.50 a pack, which is very expensive. I know my missus didn't pay that. I think she paid £1.50. Anyway, what do I want to talk about today? Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca. You guys are probably waiting. I'm pretty sure he's been announced by thingy at this point. I don't know exactly. Okay, it's not popping up, so let me go. Maresca. On Twitter, I want to see if Chelsea have announced him or not. Yeah, 7 hours ago, it says Chelsea have agreed to appoint Enzo Maresca as new head coach. Here we go. 5-year deal, joining from Leicester. Now, my initial thoughts are, is he an upgrade on Poch? No. That's my initial thought process. I don't think he's anywhere near the level of Poch. He hasn't got the experience. And I think it's going to be hard to replicate what Poch does. Or has done, specifically in the club. I'm gonna look at this in different segments and then try and tie it all together. Number one, he isn't Poch. And it's going to be hard to replicate, the feeling at the club. However, we are lucky to have had Poch there prior to his arrival, because that should still consolidate a lot of the squad together and the togetherness that the broader club want. So Poch's sort of foundations have been laid, the groundwork's there. Maresca, all he's doing is coming into this job with a forward-thinking process of everything's there for me. I've just got to fit the puzzle pieces and crack on. I don't need to worry about people, transfers. Like, he's coming as a head coach. I think this is a dynamic that is becoming newer in modern football. I don't personally like it myself. I think that the person that's at the forefront of the media and at the club, i.e. the manager, should have a lot of say of how things are run. However, from a business standpoint, I can understand why not. You don't have your supervisor telling the CEO how to run his business. It's like that. Anyway, that's something that we've got to look forward to. So before I start, I just want to say, I will back Maresca at the club. It's as simple as that. I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm a Chelsea supporter. It's going to happen. There is nothing I can do about it. There's nothing anyone else can do about it. So we need to back the manager, head coach. We need to back the head coach. And I want to say that we will do well. Simple as that. I want to see results. I want to see attacking football, possession-based football. I want to see it work. And I want to see it work well. Okay. He is going to jump in to the foundations of what Pochettino has set up now. Let's start with what Pochettino was setting up. The winning formula for Pochettino was a 4-2-3-1. 4 defenders, 2 centre midfielders, 2 wingers, a central attacking midfielder, i.e. Cole Palmer or Nkunku, and a striker. Now, that is the way we set up on paper. In an attacking transition, we have a wing back, either the right or the left wing back, it was Cucurella for Pochettino, who did that role very well, who would sit in front of the defensive line and become a back three. Pardon me. And become a back three. That allowed the two midfielders to push forward. Now, one of them was Caicedo. He didn't always push forward that much. And one of them was Gallagher at the end of the season. And it worked very well because it allowed that freedom. The front three could then split and it ended up looking more like a 3-2-4-1. We'll go with that. The 8, i.e. Gallagher, dropped into where the central attacking midfielder played and they split. They split and pivoted and it created this diamond of Caicedo, Palmer, Gallagher, whoever it might have been. Anyway. No, sorry. You get the gist. I might get this up to show you because I've got some diagrams in front of me that helps explain. Nope. Okay, that was a winning formula for Pochettino. What do I want to say? Yeah, how does Enzo Maresca fit into that system? Well, from doing a bit of research myself, not that there's a lot out there. He's had one season at Leicester, and he's had... where does it say? It says here somewhere. One season at Leicester and 14 matches for Parma, who were in the Serie B at the time. Yeah. Not very experienced. Anyway. How does he fit in? He plays, and I quote, exactly the same formation as Pochettino. So Pochettino's laid this foundation of how we want to play and build up, and it works. The club have obviously understood this, which I think is a positive to give the club. They've picked out a manager that plays exactly the same. He just uses his goalkeeper a little bit more forward thinking, like a bit more of Man City, because he learned under Pep Guardiola. You can understand and you can really see that transition into his tactical games. Now, he opts for a 4-2-3-1, which is the formation we just exampled, or a 4-3-3. Exactly the same. 2 centre mids and 1 just in front in that middle 3. The goalkeeper likes to join, and he does like to push one of his full-backs inside. However, this will often change. Right back or left back, depending on how they want to transition. He prefers the left-hand side. That's been noted. Again, much more favouring the Cucurella, but can also go down the right-hand side. The screenshot I've actually got here is when he was at Leicester. Now, if I show you this, just here, can I zoom in a bit more? There we go. You can see how the goalkeeper works here. The goalkeeper outside of his box, he likes his goalkeepers to be very forward-thinking, good ball-playing goalkeepers. With that being said, I think Chelsea might go and buy a new goalkeeper. I think Robert Sanchez is a bit iffy. I love Petrovic. I don't think he's the best with his feet, but he has improved. So I think that might be a case of let's see how we get on with the goalkeeper first. You can see, so Pereira here is the Leicester right back. So it sets up in a 4. Pereira starts on the right, Wout Faes, Vestergaard and Doyle left back. These 2 centre backs. As Pereira has moved into the midfield, the right centre back has gone onto the right. The left centre back has played on the left hand side, in the middle, and Doyle arguably makes either a left back or a left centre back because 9 times out of 10 he will be slotting into this position. It's just because of how the play's transitioned here, which is why he's so far away. What does this mean? Right, Ndidi, the CDM, he probably plays Ndidi and Winks in this sort of central midfield role, and then Dewsbury Hall here as your attacking midfielder. This is split the play wide, and it's allowed Ndidi and Winks and Dewsbury Hall to create this diamond formation, which is brilliant, which is exactly what Pochettino did. So if you're Chelsea fans out there, imagine this. This is Thiago Silva. This is Reece James that's popped into this spot. This is Cucurella, and this is Levi Colwill. He prefers the left, but this is a right-hand side transition that we can see where Pereira is dropped in. This would be your Palmer in the middle, Madueke be out here. Once this ball gets played in to either the Pereira or Ndidi or Winks, you've got an overload in midfield then, because not only have you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so say the ball gets played into here, you've got 1, 2, 3, we'll call it 4 players within the vicinity of the ball in this section of the pitch. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 players already, plus your wingers. Now the wingers will either draw out your centre-backs, wing backs, and try and receive the ball shorter, i.e. your Mudrik's down here, your Madueke is over here. Now what is very important, I think it says it somewhere in this article, number 8 threats. So your Enzo Fernandez's, your Conor Gallagher's, Caicedo at a push, because that's what will happen. Your Caicedo, Enzo and Gallagher, no matter which 2 out of them 3 you use, they will become this number 8 role. You'll have a deep line playmaker, which is your wing back, your inverted wing back that's dropped deep. And these two, even if, in my opinion, Indeed is more of a defensive midfielder, Winks is more of your number 8, hence why he's number 8. Pardon me. They both become this role, depending on which side of the transition and which side of the pitch the ball's in. And then your Dewsbury Hall becomes your free man in the middle, which is what you want your Palmer and your Nkunkus to do. You want them to find that space, see how he's so much further away from both. He's your attacking outlet, so that if the ball gets, if these, all 3 of these are marked, which you can tell they're going to be marked, you've got a free man. You play the ball through the lines. He's facing you back. One of these will make a run. Your 2-8s will make a run. The ball's played back to Pereira, and the ball's played through. That's the attacking transition. That's what you're hoping for. If either of that can't happen, your 8s will still get forward. This is where it's saying number 8 threats. At Leicester, an inverted fullback forming a double pivot allows the number 8s to start higher. They can then attack the inside channels inside the wide attackers. So the wide players, your Maduekes and your Mudriks, stay wide, and then these attack in between the centre-backs and the wing-backs. Now that will either allow the centre-back will cover, leaving a space for your striker. They'll move away, and then you've got space for a striker to score a goal. Or, if the wing-backs go in, it leaves space on the outside of the pitch. Now 9 times out of 10, it's better to leave the space on the outside of the pitch, because it's less of a threat to conceding a goal defensively, that is. Personally, I don't know what this photo shows, because it also highlights a defender. Don't know what that's showing. But, again, I wasn't really... I don't know the players here to be able to attribute a position to them. I'm trying to figure out what this is showing. I don't know. Let's have a quick read. When Palmer's fullbacks narrowed building attack, the number 8s would push forward to the front line. Okay, so maybe your Mihalia or your Juric, one of these is your number 8. So it becomes a front 4. You've still then got 3 in your midfield. So if the ball is lost, so say you try and play a pass and it's intercepted and they try and play a pass back into the midfield, you've still got 3 there. 4. You've only got your 3 defenders, but 1 stayed wide, another stayed wide, and 1 guards that central midfield spot. Central defensive spot, depending on whereabouts in the pitch you are. But you've got an overload in attack. So you've got 4 defenders with 4 players. All you need to do is pass through and beat one of the defenders, and you're through. At Leicester, with a fullback much earlier on than Palmer, the attacking shape was more like a 3-2-4-1, as you can't really see there. does seem like he wants to play. So take the wingers, for example, Marcel and Mavididi, two very important players at Leicester for him this season. You can see how the likes of the wingers are just as important at getting back than the wing backs. So say here, they've attacked. The back four's reset itself. One of your eights, Winks or Ndidi, drops into that central spot to cover off the midfield. Ndidi covers one of the players. Vice versa, it could be Winks, whatever. But your wing backs have got back in line with Ndidi. You've got a person to fill the gap between the midfield and defence, i.e. your Winks. This will more than likely be your Caicedos, potentially your Enzos, or your Gallaghers. You've got a midfield here to do the running. Again, that's more likely to be Gallagher, and that's Caicedo if we keep Gallagher and whoever in the team. But your your wingers have to track back. It stops the counter-attack. It puts pressure on and it allows them to press. Look how tight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players are. 8 players here within, I'm going to call it 2 quadrants of the pitch. You can see what I'm trying to say here. Anything that tries to go through that, you've got 1, 2, 3 players, 8 players. Yes, you're going to have more people over here that they can pass back to, but let them pass back. They're not going to find the pass through. It's very similar to how Poch was setting up, let's just put it that way, because towards the end of the season we saw the likes of Madueke and Mudryk tracking back and doing a lot of defensive work. Their attacking threats weren't up here. Madueke was getting assists and goals, Mudryk was getting assists and goals, great, but they weren't like 15, 20 goals a season. Their role is to push the play wide, be there as a utility option, but also defend. Let the middle of the park do the talking. Let the balls flow through and pick up any loose change. That's how we're going to be setting up. That's how the wingers are going to work. They're going to be there if your Pereira jumps in. Maybe your Marcel has to take 2 or 3 yards back. Let this attacking midfielder fill in the space. Let the 8s make the runs out wide and be there if they need help. Be a utility option. And that's what we're going to see. That is why Madueke at the end of the season worked so well. He was perfect at just being there. Picking up the ball when needed, dribbling when needed, beating a man and then playing the right pass. He had a great end to the season because of that. Now, initial thoughts was Enzo, not sure, don't know what's going to happen. After doing a bit of research, he fits what we currently have. That to me, for him, is such a positive. It shows that the club are at least thinking, how are we playing? How do we want to play a little bit different? Pochettino's defensive style, I couldn't see that there was any identity there defensively. I can see the identity defensively with Maresca. It might be naive of me to say that. Not too sure. You'll have to let me know. The negatives are very inexperienced. Never worked at this level, bar an assistant manager at Man City. It's going to be tough. I don't blame him for that. I don't blame the players for that. I blame the club. But from now on, we've got to support him. We've got to do, as all fans will do, and back him. If decisions don't go our way, and I'm going to say this, and I want to appeal to every fan out there of whether it's Chelsea or not, any fan that's got a club that's now using the head coach plan and the structure that Chelsea have inhabited. I know Man City have got it and Liverpool's got it and things like this. It looks like Man United are going that way. If your club is run this way and the results aren't going your way, do not, under any circumstance, blame the manager/head coach. It is not their fault. They've already had 90% of all decisions, 90% of everything taken away from their job role. So 90% of any result is on the board for not giving them that option. That's just how I feel about it as it stands. The coach should come in and in my opinion, improve player performance, improve squad cohesion, instill an identity. They're the three things I want to see. What style of football we're playing from now on and throughout pre-season. I want to see the squad be as harmonious as it has been, because Pochettino did that very well. And I just want to see us play good football. It's as simple as that. As long as he can provide, whether we're winning or losing, if I can see that on the pitch, the results not going our way is not on him. The club have made it 100% certain that they will provide him with the players. He just has to work with them. If the players are not good enough and can't perform to the levels that they need to, that is not his fault. That is the board's fault for not recruiting properly and filling their end of the bargain, as far as I'm concerned. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Sorry, it's been a bit of a weird intro / talking about what happens and Enzo and whatever. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'll catch you later. Goodbye.